Hi, welcome to Splash and Go. I'm Nate Ryan here with Kyle Petty. The Cup Series returns this weekend, Kyle, Sonoma Raceway, and it's got a little bit of a twist this year. They're reinstalling the Carousel portion of the track, which will bring back a couple of turns, bring back a couple of passing zones. First time that part of the track has been on this course in about 20 years. You've raced the old layout. None of the drivers in this year's field will have. What will they see when they go there?
A better racetrack. And they will. Listen, the only thing they could do better this week by bringing back the Carousel is call it Sears Point again. let's just bring back the original
real
sign.
Throwback.
Yeah, real throwback. It's Sears Point and the Carousel is back. It changes the racetrack. It changes how you, when you come through turns 1 and get to the top of the hill and then you go through the little twist and start over the hill, you got to make a right. You got to turn right. You're not going down to the bottom of the hill anymore. And then the Carousel is so much fun. It's a great passing zone. You can run 2 wide there. In the old days you could. I'm not sure with this car. I won't go that far. But it's how you got through that left-hander and how you got that run up off. You could get position to pass somebody at the end of the end of that next straightaway, which was the drag strip, because you'd come down on the end of the drag strip there. Or you could get position, or you gave you another braking zone to outbrake somebody at the far end of the racetrack. So I felt like when they moved it to a stadium type racing, for the fans, they took the driver out of the equation and just said, we want you to go out there and race. You know what I mean? I think by bringing the Carousel back, it's a better racetrack, and now it's a driver's racetrack again. You've got obviously the different elevations, the uphill, the downhill, the lightness of coming over that little hill to get into the Carousel. That's going to be exciting to see where you're at, because it's a funny feel in a car right there. So I think it's going to take a little while for some of the drivers to get used to it, but you're going to have the same old guys that are really good. Truex, Kyle Busch, some of those guys, Joey Logano, some of those guys are just going to adapt right off the bat. But I do believe it does bring it back to the driver a little bit. This is more, and this is not going to be like we've seen in the past where it's just short track, root and gouge. Let's knock somebody out of the way. This is back to being a road course.
Going to be a little bit more of true road course racing, outbreaking somebody to make a pass, not just knocking somebody out of the way.
You're still going to get people knocked out of the way. Don't get me wrong. That's the way NASCAR drivers run road courses. But at the same time, there's the opportunity, and the opportunity will present itself to really good road race drivers, and we'll see these guys. To use the Carousel, to use the exit of the Carousel, to use the entrance to the Carousel, to use the next corner to be able to outbrake somebody. Typical classic road course maneuvers we'll see more so than just driving into the hairpin there and running through the side of somebody and bouncing off of them and taking the position.
And we've seen the last decade, really 15 years or so, NASCAR drivers, Cup drivers in particular, have gotten better and more proficient at learning how to road course race. And you mentioned that stadium style was the terminology that Bruton Smith used when they took the Carousel out, because they wanted to make the race course visible for everybody from the grandstands. And it's interesting to me, Kyle, I don't know if you agree with this, but this is kind of indicative, I think, of there's been a road course renaissance in NASCAR where now I think 20 years later, hey, we can sacrifice the fact that they're going to dip down and maybe be in this part where people can't see it as well, because road course racing right now is really popular. Guys do it really, really well. So if we take out a straightaway and put in a couple of turns and maybe people can't see it as well, fans might be okay with that because they know it makes for better racing.
It makes for better racing. And that is one of the things that I think, again, I think this will be a better race, and it's a better racetrack for the drivers. In turn, it will be a better racetrack or better race for the fans. Just because you're not setting where you see them come over the hill and then, oh, there they are over there again. It's like going through a tunnel almost. When you see it, they may have switched positions, you know what I mean? And you didn't see it, but it still doesn't mean that it's not great racing. And they get down to the next corner, and then you're able to outbrake and do that. I do believe if you look at Watkins Glen and you look at Sonoma, there has been a resurgence and a renaissance.
Like a renaissance.
In road course racing. And I'm not even going to say maybe I'm just going to say Cup fans discovered road racing, because before that they didn't care about it.
They learned to appreciate it.
Yeah, they learned to appreciate it. At the same time, I think it says and should send a signal to NASCAR in some way that A, we need more road courses. I'd like to see another road course or two. Or B, we need more short tracks. You know what I mean? Because it's that combination of speed and short track racing that we see at a Watkins Glen, that we see at a Sonoma. And we only get a chance to glimpse it at really a Martinsville or a Richmond or a Bristol, where we used to have a North Wilkesboro, and we used to have other tracks that we ran that were shorter tracks. So maybe we need to do away with some of these 1.5-mile race tracks and get us some nice half miles out there, or some different road courses.
I'm all in favor of it.
Yes.
Let's hope for another Sonoma Classic this weekend that will further that argument. More short tracks, more road courses, NASCAR. Hey, another guy who's pretty good on road courses, Simon Pagenaud, the winner of the Indianapolis 500. He's on the Dale Jr. Download today, 5 p.m. Eastern on NBCSN. Thanks for watching Splash and Go.
Hey Motorsports fans, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe before you go for all the latest news and highlights across motorsports.